You think the worst betrayal happens face to face? Wrong. In today's digital age, the most dangerous deception happens behind a screen. Messages that vanish without a trace. Notifications that suddenly go silent. Passwords that change overnight for no reason. Look, what I'm about to share with you will be uncomfortable, but it's necessary. Because thousands of men are falling into this trap every single day, and they don't even realize it. They think everything's fine until one day their entire world collapses. Today, I'm going to reveal 5 digital red flags every man needs to recognize. And I'm warning you right now, number 4 is the most dangerous. It's a manipulation tactic so subtle, you won't even realize you're being controlled until it's too late. But first, do me a favor. Hit that subscribe button and smash the like. And in the comments, let me know what topic you want me to cover next. What aspect of female psychology do you want to understand? Dating dynamics? Relationship patterns? Or maybe a specific situation you're dealing with? Drop it in the comments because your input might become my next video. Now let's get into it. The first red flag I'm about to show you is so common that you've probably convinced yourself it's normal. But this silent killer is what destroys trust from the inside out. Red flag number 1. The phone fortress. 4 minutes. Remember when her phone used to sit on the table? Face up, screen visible, no stress. If a notification came through, she'd smile and share it. Look what my friend sent me. Simple, natural, transparent. But now the phone is always face down, screen brightness turned way down. And the biggest tell, suddenly there's a password. A password that was never necessary before. When you ask about it, you get, "I need my privacy. Don't you trust me?" Here's what's happening. This is psychological manipulation at its finest. She's turning your legitimate question into a referendum on your insecurity. You're asking a reasonable concern, and she's making you the villain. Real psychology here. A woman who has nothing to hide doesn't suddenly build walls. Privacy and secrecy are not the same thing. Privacy is, "I'm using the bathroom, give me a minute." Secrecy is, "You can't know what I'm doing even when I'm sitting right next to you." Watch for the pattern. Does she grab her phone the second it buzzes, even if she's mid-conversation with you? Does she angle the screen away from you like she's entering a bank pin in public? Does she take her phone to the bathroom every single time, even for a 30-second trip? Those aren't random habits. That's deliberate concealment. Here's the trap most men fall into. You don't want to seem controlling. You don't want to be that guy who checks her phone. So you do nothing. You swallow your gut feeling. You tell yourself you're being mature by giving her space. But let me be clear. There's a massive difference between respecting privacy and accepting deception. If her phone has become a locked fortress that she guards like classified documents, you're not respecting privacy. You're enabling secrecy. The solution isn't snooping. It's observation and communication. You don't need to crack her password. You need to notice when her behavior shifts from open to guarded. And when it does, you address it directly. Try this. "I noticed you've become really protective of your phone lately. That's new. What changed?" Watch her reaction. A woman with nothing to hide will give you a straightforward answer without defensiveness. A woman hiding something will flip it back on you, make you the problem, and storm out of the conversation. That reaction tells you everything you need to know. But here's where it gets worse. Because protecting the phone is just step 1. The real game begins with how she manages her digital presence around you. And that's where red flag number 2 lives. Red flag number 2. The ghost mode activation. 4 minutes. You know what I'm talking about. She's on her phone constantly when you're not around. Her friends tell you she's always active online. But the second you're together, suddenly she's a digital monk. No scrolling, no texting. Phone practically invisible. At first you might think, great, she's present with me. She's not one of those people glued to their screen. But dig deeper and you'll see the pattern. It's not that she's being present, it's that she's hiding her activity. This is what I call ghost mode. She's actively using her phone throughout the day, but when you're around, all that activity mysteriously stops. Why? Because she can't risk you seeing a name pop up. She can't risk you catching a glimpse of a conversation she's not supposed to be having. Think about it logically. If her phone habits are normal and innocent, why would they change dramatically based on whether you're in the room or not? They wouldn't. Consistency is the hallmark of honesty. Sudden changes in behavior always signal something beneath the surface. Here's what you need to watch for. She's constantly on her phone before you arrive or after you leave, but during your time together, the phone sits untouched. That's not respect. That's damage control. When she does use her phone around you, she types slower, more carefully, as if she's crafting every word to be screenshot-proof. Natural texting is fast and casual. Calculated texting is measured and deliberate. She suddenly starts using her phone in private spaces. The bathroom becomes her messaging center. Just checking work emails becomes the excuse for 15-minute disappearances. The psychology behind this is fascinating and dark. She's creating two separate digital identities, one that exists when you're present, clean and innocent, and one that exists when you're not, where the real conversations happen. Most men miss this because they're too busy being grateful she's not on her phone all the time around them. But you're not getting her authentic behavior. You're getting a performance. The move here is simple. Observe the inconsistency. You don't need to confront her about being active on social media. You need to recognize that her digital behavior has two completely different modes, and ask yourself why. Because here's the truth. When a woman is genuinely into you and has nothing to hide, her phone behavior stays consistent whether you're there or not. She might use it less because she's engaged with you, but she doesn't switch into a completely different mode. If she's operating in ghost mode around you, it's because there's something on that screen she can't afford for you to see. But wait, it gets darker. Because she's not just hiding her activity, she's actively managing her digital trail. And that brings us to red flag number 3. Red flag number 3, the vanishing act. Deleted conversations. 4 minutes. One day you notice something strange. Her message threads are unusually short. Every conversation looks fresh, like it just started. No long scrolling histories, no old memes, no months-old chats. Everything is clean. Too clean. That's not organization, that's elimination. Here's the reality. People don't habitually delete their entire message history unless they're hiding something. Think about your own phone. You probably have conversations going back months, maybe years. Why? Because there's nothing in them that threatens you. They're just conversations. But when someone is actively deleting messages, especially specific conversations, it's because those messages contain evidence they can't afford to leave lying around. Watch for these patterns. She deletes messages immediately after sending or receiving them. You might catch her mid-text, and the second she's done, the thread disappears. When you ask to see a conversation, maybe something funny a friend sent, suddenly that specific chat has been accidentally deleted, or her phone glitched and lost everything. She uses apps that auto-delete messages. Snapchat, Telegram with disappearing messages, Signal with timed deletion. Now, these apps aren't inherently suspicious, but when she suddenly switches to them for no clear reason, that's a signal. Here's the psychology. Deletion equals intention. Every time she erases a conversation, she's making a conscious choice. She's deciding that keeping that digital trail is more dangerous than the effort it takes to eliminate it. Let me be brutally honest with you. A woman who's loyal doesn't need to delete. She has nothing to hide, so the evidence can sit there forever. It doesn't threaten anything. But a woman who's stepping out? She's managing risk. Every conversation with the other guy is potential ammunition in a future confrontation. So she deletes. Constantly. Obsessively. It becomes part of her routine. The move here isn't to demand to see her phone. That makes you look insecure and gives her ammunition to flip the script. The move is to notice the pattern and recognize what it signals. If her digital history is suspiciously clean, if conversations never seem to go back more than a few days, if entire contact threads just vanish, you're not looking at someone who values privacy. You're looking at someone who's covering tracks. And here's the brutal part. By the time you notice the deletions, you're already weeks or months behind. The evidence has been erased. The trail has gone cold. All you're left with is suspicion and a gut feeling. That's why awareness is your only weapon. You can't prove what's been deleted, but you can recognize the behavior of someone who's actively hiding something. But deleting messages is amateur hour compared to what comes next, because red flag number 4 is where things get truly manipulative. This is the tactic that most men never see coming. Red flag number 4, the digital double standard, 4 minutes. This one is brutal because it operates on pure hypocrisy, and most men are too conditioned to call it out. Here's how it works. She demands full access to your digital life. She wants your passwords. She wants to see who you're texting. She wants explanations for every female name in your contacts. She'll check your social media, scroll through your likes, analyze who's commenting on your posts. And you, wanting to be the good guy, wanting to prove you have nothing to hide, you comply. You hand over the passwords. You show her the messages. You explain every interaction. You're being transparent because you think that's what trust looks like. But here's the trap. When you ask for the same transparency in return, suddenly you're controlling. You're insecure. You're toxic. Why do you need to see my phone? Don't you trust me? This is the digital double standard, and it's one of the most effective manipulation tactics in modern relationships. The psychology here is devastating. By demanding access to your life while guarding her own, she accomplishes three things. First, she positions herself as the authority in the relationship. She gets to investigate, audit, and judge your behavior while remaining immune from the same scrutiny. Second, she trains you to accept imbalance. You start believing that her privacy matters but yours doesn't. You internalize the idea that you need to prove yourself while she doesn't. Third, and most insidious, she creates a smokescreen. By keeping you focused on proving your innocence, you never have time or mental space to question hers. Watch for these signs. She freely goes through your phone but reacts with anger if you even glance at hers. She asks detailed questions about your female friends, your coworkers, your social media activity, but deflects any questions about her male contacts. She monitors your location, checks your online status, notices when you're active on social media, but her location is always off and her activity is always hidden. The move here is to recognize the imbalance and call it out directly. Not with anger, but with clarity. Try this. I notice you want complete transparency from me, but you're not offering the same in return. Either we both have privacy or we both have transparency. Pick one. That one statement reframes the entire dynamic. You're not asking to invade her privacy, you're demanding equal terms. Here's what happens next. If she's hiding something, she'll escalate. She'll accuse you of being controlling, of not trusting her, of trying to trap her. She'll make you the villain for asking for basic reciprocity. But if she's genuine, she'll pause. She'll recognize the imbalance and either adjust her behavior or have an honest conversation about boundaries. The double standard isn't about phones, it's about power. She's using digital access as a tool to control you while maintaining her own freedom. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. But as manipulative as the double standard is, there's one final red flag that seals it all. This is the one that most men discover too late, and when they do, the relationship is already over. Red flag number 5, the secret social life. 3 minutes. This is the end game. When all the other red flags converge, they create this. A completely separate digital social life that you're not part of. You're not tagged in her posts. You're not mentioned in her stories. In her digital world, you barely exist. Meanwhile, she's active, engaged, posting, commenting, but you're nowhere in the picture. Ask yourself, when was the last time she posted a photo of you two together? When did she last mention you in a story? When did she refer to you publicly as her partner? If the answer is rarely or never, you need to understand what that signals. It's not that she's private, it's that she's keeping her options open. By erasing you from her digital presence, she's signaling to other men that she's available. Here's the pattern. Her social media looks like she's single. No couple photos, no relationship status, no mentions of having a partner. She has a close friends list on Instagram or a private story list that you're not on. She's sharing content with select people, and you're not one of them. When you ask why she doesn't post about the relationship, she says, I like to keep my private life private. But somehow her friends, her nights out, her solo adventures, those all make it online. Just not you. The psychology is simple. She's managing her image for an audience that doesn't include you. She's maintaining the appearance of availability because someone else is watching. Maybe it's an ex. Maybe it's a backup option. Maybe it's someone new she's already talking to. The move here is direct confrontation. Not angry, not needy, just factual. I notice I don't exist in your digital life. If we're together, I should be part of your world online, not hidden from it. What's the reason? Her response will tell you everything. If she gets defensive, makes excuses, or flips it on you, you have your answer. If she genuinely didn't realize and makes an effort to include you moving forward, maybe it's fixable. But here's the hard truth. Most of the time, if you're hidden online, it's because she wants you hidden. And people hide what they're ashamed of or what conflicts with another narrative they're building. Conclusion. So, there you have it. 5 digital red flags that reveal what she's hiding. The phone fortress, the ghost mode, the vanishing messages, the double standard, the secret social life. These aren't isolated incidents, they're patterns, and patterns reveal character. Your job isn't to become a detective, obsessively checking her every move. Your job is to stay aware, to trust your gut, and to refuse to ignore what's right in front of you. Because here's the reality, you can't control her actions, but you can control your response. You can decide whether you'll accept behavior that disrespects you, or whether you'll demand the transparency and honesty you deserve. If you recognize these signs, don't panic. Don't immediately accuse, but also don't ignore. Address it. Set boundaries. And if she refuses to meet you halfway, you have your answer. Before you go, hit subscribe. Smash that like button and drop in the comments what topic you want me to tackle next. Have you experienced any of these red flags? Share your story. Your experience might be exactly what another man needs to hear. Remember, your standards aren't negotiable. Protect them like your future depends on it, because it does.